Hey everybody, I'm Joey, and today we're gonna reverse sear a Denver steak. But not just any steak, because today we're using premium Wagyu beef. So follow me, and let's turn up the tasty. If you're not familiar with Wagyu beef, well then you've really been missing out, because this is some of the finest beef available anywhere in the world. As a matter of fact, 100% full-blood Wagyu represents less than 1/10% of all beef available anywhere in the US. And that's just insane. So now let's go ahead and get cooking, but you need to go ahead and preheat your oven to 250 degrees because this is a reverse sear. Next, you need to let your steak rest for at least 30 minutes. I know I say it every single video, but it really is the smallest thing you can do that's gonna make the biggest difference in how your steak turns out. As a matter of fact, this steak has already been sitting out for well over an hour. Next, we're gonna season it. But before we do, I just wanna show you this incredible marbling that's here in this steak. And that's what really separates Wagyu beef from other beef. It has this rich and tender marbling, and that's where all the tasty hides. So now it's time to season it, and we're just gonna use kosher salt. That's it on both sides. The reason we're only using salt is because this is such a high quality beef that we only want to use the salt to bring out that natural beefy flavor. All right, now that it's seasoned, it's time to get it on a wire rack and get it into the oven. As I mentioned earlier, our oven is preheating at 250 degrees. So we're gonna go ahead and put it in here and let it reach an internal temperature of about 115 degrees. That's just below rare. And when we pull it out, as I mentioned earlier, we're going to sear it on both sides for about 30 seconds. All right, now you might be asking yourself, what is a Denver steak? Well, fair to say, it's not the only edible coming out of Denver. Look, you're just not very likely to find this cut of steak at your local grocer because it takes extra skill and labor to extract this steak from the chuck primal. But it has a rich, buttery, and tender flavor that makes it worth all the extra effort. As a matter of fact, I want to take this moment to thank our friends at Wiens Wagyu for sending us this truly epic steak. They raise 100% full-blood Wagyu beef. And if you're looking to order some of your own, and I really think you should, we've included a link in the description below, as well as a code for 10% off your first order. All right, now I'm going to take a few minutes and finish my beer as this steak cooks, and I'll be right back. The steak is almost at temperature. It has about another 2 minutes of cooking, but before it's done, I thought I'd just take a moment and talk about why do we reverse sear a steak. Well, it's simple, because when we bake it first, it allows it to arrive at a temperature all the way throughout the steak. When you cook it in a more traditional method, just in the cast iron skillet, you tend to get the edges, which are more at a well done, to get to an interior that's at, let's just say, a medium rare. So by reversing that process, by putting it in the oven first, it's gonna bake at a nice consistent temperature all the way through, and then we're gonna drop it in this cast iron skillet and let it sear for about 30 seconds per side. That sear at the end is just designed to give it that really nice color. So just wanted to explain to you why we do that. I'm gonna go get this out of the oven and we're gonna drop it in the skillet. All right, so this has reached an internal temperature of 118 degrees. Right about where we wanted it. So next, we're gonna get it off this wire rack and into this cast iron skillet, where it's gonna sear for about 30 to 45 seconds per side. I'm not gonna use any tongs, I'm not gonna use any forks, just gonna treat it real gentle, use a spatula to get it off and into that pan. This is still heating, so I'm gonna give it about another minute or two to get nice and hot before we drop it. All right, so this pan is nice and hot, so we're gonna go ahead and get it in there now. I'm just gonna get this on my spatula right here. Now, as you can see, even though this is just below a rare temp, it doesn't have a great color. And this is where the reverse sear comes in. This is a nice hot pan. We're gonna get it in. And listen to that sound. Can you hear that at home? That right there is the sound of tasty. We're gonna let it cook for 30, 45 seconds, and then we're gonna flip it on the other side. That's all it's gonna take. All right, so this steak is cooked for about 30 seconds on both sides, and we're just gonna get it out of the skillet, and now we're gonna let it rest here for about 3 to 5 minutes. Allow it to lock in all that tasty meat juice, because that's where all the flavor hides. If we cut into it right now, we're gonna end up with like a little lake on our cutting board. So I'm gonna let it cool. I'm gonna grab another drink of my beer, and I'll be right back in about 3 to 5 minutes. All right, now the steak is rested and it's ready to cut open. But before we do, just a quick note. Reverse searing is great for thicker steaks, and what that does is promote more even cooking all the way throughout the steak. And the reason we sear it at the end is to help turn up the tasty. So let's cut it open and see what it looks like. We cut it into slices which are about a 1/4 inch thick. Look at that color right there. All right, look at that. Look at that juice right there. I mean, that's that incredible marbling. That's why you buy Wagyu steak. So let's see how it tastes. That is absolutely fantastic. Really rich, buttery flavor. It's like Mardi Gras in your mouth. Absolutely fantastic. Here at Red Meat Lover, we're all about cooking meat made easy, and that's just what we try to show you in every single video. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, like, or even better, subscribe to our channel for future updates. We have some really great content coming your way over the next 12 months. And in closing, I just want to say, you say Wagyu, I say Wagyu, but we can all agree it's delicious. I'll see you next time.